Thank you, Deputy Speaker. The President of the EFF, the caucus of the EFF led by the DP Floyd Shivambu, the Secretary General and the DSG, fellow South Africans. Let us welcome the initiative to join both houses and respond to the phenomenon of rape, abuse, and murder of women in our country. It is important to immediately state that this triangle of suffering imposed on women of this country, black women in particular, Africans, is not new at all. The idea that it has only reached the crisis level is also not true. The problem of rape, abuse, and murder of women has been normalized crisis over many decades. This is because in the townships, in the rural areas, there has never been law enforcement. You will never ever find a law enforcement buggy in a rural area and a township. In townships, in rural areas, the police were from the beginning only trained to ensure that blacks stay where they have to stay, which is the rural and the township, and never pose risk to the white communities and its properties. Therefore, it is the law of the jungle that rules. The law of the jungle that was subjected to as women in South Africa. This has been allowed and made possible by the colonial and apartheid states and continued by the government of today. In the townships, you've been killed anytime, anywhere, by anyone with impunity because there is no law enforcement. This means the first thing we all have to admit is that if we do not build a reliable, decisive police force within black areas, we will never achieve justice for victims of gender-based violence. Police are the first to recommend that families must go back home and talk about the issues. Or when the husband has beaten a woman, even mishandled a child, you are sent back home to go talk about the issues. Talk about the issues where? When your own family has failed you. It's the system at home that fails you that you go to the police station to report. Also, the police and many conservative amongst us like to think that the resolution of the problem lies within our families. It's not true. You cannot tell women who are being abused to go and sort it out at their families. As a result, you need a psychological shift in the police and law enforcement in general that says the state has a duty to enforce the law even against the wishes of parents and partners who go and withdraw the cases because their husband feed them. The mere fact that the child is yours does not mean that you can violate or abuse them. The mere fact that the wife is yours does not mean that you can force sex or beat them. It's our vaginas. We can do what we want with them. It's our bodies. Therefore, there is no quick fix to the problem. Or only help a successful policing, prosecuting, tough sentencing, and working prisons will stay with the problem for as long as we do not fix this system. Mr. President, you said earlier on you need tough laws to keep people in jail. The legislation that exists is prioritizing the rights of rapists, of murderers, of child beaters, of children murderers above the victims. They get bail because they have rights, but my right is not recognized. We therefore recommend a parliamentary joint standing committee to sit each week and get the briefing of all the cases that have been reported in South Africa. We need a call center here in Parliament where women can call and report that I have a rapist in my house. We need a call center here in Parliament that's going to attend to children who are being mistreated. We need a Parliament that's going to ensure that there are shelters where police are going to refer women that go and report, not shelters at home where the family stature has already failed you. in xenophobia, which is actually Afrophobic, we are not xenophobic, but we hate Africans. We hate our brothers. Let's separate criminalism from the people. Criminals, even if they are Africans, must be sent to jail. Police must do their job to separate the criminals, which are Africans, even us South Africans, send them to jail so that we do not have a problem of South African fighting another African brother in South Africa.
On that note, thank you, ma'am. Your time has expired.
Lastly, sorry, Chair. Mr. President, can you confirm here today that in the past 25 years of this democratic dispensation, you have never laid a hand on a woman, and all men here must confirm that they have never laid hands on women? You are all a part of the problem.
Honorable van der Merwe.